Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Wealth and Wellness Report. I'm your host, Diego. I'm an investor, a builder, a fiduciary representative, and a forever life student. Today's a little different, guys. It's just me, you, and the truth. So no guests, no filters, just me and you. And we're going to talk a little bit about building wealth, building businesses, building you. Without losing yourself or your peace in the process. That's a really big component for me, you guys. Like everybody that's chiming in and listening into this, I want you to be your best self. I want you to be 10.0. And it's so important for me to apply all of this health and wellness into my business, into my entrepreneurial life, and share it with all of my friends, family, colleagues, associates, business representatives, clients, you name it. Everybody in my world, I want to talk about how important it is to not lose your peace and your well-being throughout this process of entrepreneurship, building your business, building your legacy, building your livelihood. So I'm here to set the tone, you guys. This is all about being raw, personal, and practical in today's world. So I want you guys to know that I've walked through the fire. I've been through hell and back when it comes to business, financial pressures, family priorities, and personal reinvention. I've had my reset a couple of years ago in 2022, having to go through a lot of strife with staff and people stealing from me and people taking equipment and running other projects and doing other deals behind my back. So I know what it's like to be hit in the heart, hit in the head multiple times, and hit in the pocketbook too, for that matter. Because running a business and being an entrepreneur, it's hard, you know? Like you have to be okay with not knowing when the next paycheck's coming in, not knowing if you're going to make payroll, not knowing if the economy goes to shit, if you are going to be able to, pay the bills and keep the lights on. So I want to keep this theme here today. I started with a shovel and I had a vision. I started out running landscape projects out of my sister's Ford Focus, shooting deals on the other side of the counter, running a till at a natural food store in Burlingame, California. And I knew at that point in my career that I wanted to change the narrative. I wanted to help farmers. I wanted to help entrepreneurs. I wanted to help homeowners, homesteaders develop, spaces and livelihoods that, really resonated with, ideally for me, it was the permaculture principles and ethics, earth care, people care, and fair share, or the reinvesting of the surplus. So I've been able to craft my story in the construction real estate industries. And I had a huge identity shift early on, being broke and disconnected, living out of an apartment, raising a son on my own. And a lot of those moments were pivotal, and they really shaped my career, my mindset, and it helped me evolve as a human being, being a father, being a business owner, helping people, going through the problem solving in construction. Because within this landscape development, landscape construction, general construction world, you're a professional problem solver, but you're also having to go through a tremendous amount of dynamic troubleshooting that occurs on a project. You have multiple contractors, multiple subcontractors. The landscape is dynamic. It's always changing, moving, evolving. So you have to really do your due diligence. I like to call it pato, protracted and thoughtful observation. And prior to doing any work, anywhere, anytime, I think it's so important to sit down and do nothing. I had a teacher of mine, he was really, really, really adamant about me not doing anything at first, because I was ready to go on any project. It was like, let's go, gunslinging, let's take action, let's get to work. He taught me to take a step back, not do anything, and just protractively and thoughtfully observe your surroundings and your space around you, taking in all of the unique characteristics of a space, whether it's light or biophilics, water in particular, the soil, the nature, birds, the butterflies, the bees, everything, really soaking in a space. That was so important for me to learn how to move through a project, doing due diligence and doing a lot of thoughtful, protracted observation on a space. And then throughout that whole process, guys, I realized wealth wasn't just cash flow for me, it was clarity, and I was missing both. I wanted to not only help people, but I also wanted to build a business so that I can develop a livelihood and grow as a human being. And it was really hard early on. And I think some really big myths about success are, you don't need more hustle. You just need more alignment, right? The idea of having to grind and put all this time into one thing, and you're just, constantly waking up every morning and banging your head on that wall. If you're not in alignment with what you do, and you're not feeling that there's a purpose or an intention or a dharma in your world, or a reason why you're on this journey, then you're going to be so disconnected with the way things go. And it's just going to be a constant stressful experience. So I think hustle culture is overrated. And what nobody talks about is burnout and shallow wins and neglecting your health. I think that is so important that everybody needs to consider, because we're not robots and we're not machines. We're going to eventually die. And we have to fill our bodies up with good thoughts, good water, good food, nutrition, and all the things that really keep this body, this, bipedal sack of saline solution, cruising at a really good altitude. So for me, it's not only about winning outwardly, but more importantly, winning inwardly. And I'm, a big reason why I bring so many people onto this show is because I want to learn about their struggles, their challenges, and their journeys through accomplishment and failure. Failure is where we get the most gold out of life. You think about Michael Jordan, and he didn't make his high school team. You think about Michael Phelps, who won so many gold medals, but it took him so long to get there, but he continued to put in the work. So many of these high level athletes that have gone through the gauntlet to get to where they are, didn't get there without failure, but more importantly, learning from that failure. So I'm here to introduce wealth and wellness to all of you in a way that I hope fully resonates with you and your business and what you want to accomplish in this life. I'm not here to just build income. I'm here to build internal stability, to grow and to regenerate and to fulfill my life with so much good, so much abundance and well-being. So being a fiduciary now in the real estate space, I've learned how to support real people. And for me, being an owner's representative or a representative in the commercial real estate space, where I'm constantly looking out after my clients in a fiscal manner, where we're looking at spreadsheets and we're developing budgets and we're underwriting deals, all of this is so important from a mindset perspective, because if you don't do your due diligence and you don't go in with this framework of learning and wanting to grow, that is you're going to eventually hit a brick wall. You're going to hit a place where you're going to have to transition, and you're going to have to evolve and morph and grow into something that will get you through that barrier. So why I've built these brands is because I want to help ultimately individuals, hopefully like yourself, who's chiming in and listening to this, and people who are looking to buy real estate, people who are looking to improve their spaces, whether it's a homestead or a commercial piece of property. I'm here to help everybody get creative And that's in finance and that's in the built environment. And I've been able to take all of these modalities and all of this craft over the last 15 years plus to help develop a mindset and a way of doing this thing that we call life. Like a lot of people tend to break up life and business and family and try and strike balances. But that's not how it works. Like you have to, in my opinion, you have to integrate everything and you have to put everything into a holistic framework of life. And that's when you're going to start seeing some traction, I think. So I always like to call out systems and principles that bring about clarity. So if you're looking for a guide in real estate or in wellness or in legacy building, I want you guys to hit the link below, click subscribe, hit me up. I want to have a conversation with you guys. And I want this to be a dialogue because I'm in this too. I'm in this journey of wanting to improve myself every single day. I want to get better every single day. And I want to do that internally and externally, whether it's, in the gym or on a deal or on a construction project. Every day I'm here to strive and become better. And I think there's a human side that we all lose in this process. So talking about energy and talking about health and family and what sort of morning habits everybody has changed everything for me, especially breath work and fitness and journaling. You guys, like I'm constantly every morning doing the same routine. Like I get up in the morning, I have a cup of coffee, I meditate, I do a little bit of journaling, then I go into the gym and I'm in the gym for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, hitting it hard. Like I want to eat the frog first thing in the morning. And I had an amazing guest on the show a couple of weeks ago. Her name's Dominique, and she's a mother, an entrepreneur, a florist. And she said it like bang on. You guys have to see this episode, you guys. Like the frog that we have to eat in the morning is going to make everything easier later on in the day. And if you get up right away and you do what's the hardest, then the rest of the day is going to be a freaking breeze. And I really want to encourage everybody to do it. Like, don't take my word for it, you guys. Like, get into the gym, get into that pain cave and get to work. Lift heavy, do your cardio, like really, really dig in. And I guarantee you through that process, you will find yourself. You will find a higher self, and that higher self is going to take you to the next level that you want to get to, because the magic is in the work that you're avoiding. And everybody that I brought into this, into this show, I've asked them this exact same question. Like, what is the most challenging aspect of your day to day? And what do you do to get better so that the next day you're constantly improving? And everybody says the same thing. Like, I'm here to get better. And just because I fail doesn't mean I'm going to quit. Like, if you're going to fall down 7 times, you guys, you got to get up 8. And every time you get up is another opportunity for you to crush it in life. So getting your body right before your bank account is going to make that bank account bigger. And I am speaking from experience because I've tested this theory where I wasn't going to the gym and I wasn't taking into account my personal health and my personal well-being. Everything was external. Like, I wanted to make sure that my businesses were good, like my kid was good, my relationships were good, everything else other than like my body was good. And once I flipped that script, you guys, everything changed. The amount of abundance that began to roll in was amazing. Completely blew me away on how fast it happened. Like, it was literally 6 to 8 months of me just taking the time to take care of myself, to get into the gym, to do the work. And more projects started to land on the desk. More deals were on the desk to underwrite. More partnerships began to emerge. This amazing guy, Ryan Reeser, came into my life again to help me out with all of my passions and everything that I want to bring out to this world, picking up a camera and picking up those lights and picking up that microphone and helping me tell this story. And everybody that I work with, I'm so freaking grateful to have in my life. to be able to do what I do on a daily basis. And without a team, without the proper systems and process in place, without the relationships, you guys, like, you're not going to go anywhere. It is a team effort. Life is a team effort. And I know it sounds super cliche, but it's like raising a child when you're building a business. Like, it takes a village. You got to get in with other people that are aligned with you to do the work, because many hands make light work. And you're just going to keep spinning that wheel like a hamster, continuously not hitting, the levels that you want to, because you're selfish. You want to do it on your own. You want to hoard all those acorns and keep them for yourself. But in all reality, it's the other way around. You got to share those acorns. So it's a vulnerable truth that we all have to expose ourselves to. And I want everybody to share what you guys are going like what's going on internally with you guys right now. Like, hit some buttons below. Make sure to comment. Tell me what's going on in your life. I'd love to know about everything about you and what you ultimately want to accomplish, and see if we can, come together and work together and make an impact in the world. Cause that's where I'm coming from. I'm driven by impact. I'm driven by sustainability, and I have a vision to help everybody that I have access to improve their livelihoods, improve their businesses, improve their environments, because it's all integral, you guys. Everything is interconnected in this world. And the built environment, the human body, the mind, the spirit, it's all woven in to this, experience that we have on planet Earth. So at some point, you're going to realize that your nervous system matters more than your net worth. So for me, legacy and what we do to build that doesn't happen overnight. I'm building for 500 years. It's like the redwood forest, you guys. Like, think about all of the next generation trees that come into a forest that has trees that live for 1,500, 2,500 years old. It takes time for there to be new growth and another baton of the next generation to pass on to the next generation. And, we can do this together, and to have the proper estate planning, get your life insurance policies in place, think about long-term structures within your business. All of these lessons that we learn from all of the high net worth families you should be applying to, like the Rockefellers, for instance. Like, if you haven't read that book, What Would the Rockefellers Do? I really encourage you to go out there and read that book, because it teaches us how to build a legacy that creates high net worth, but then passes it down to generations using life insurance and using trusts and using businesses. It becomes a cultural practice, and the decisions that you make and the protection and the visions that you institute into your family get drafted in paperwork that then gets adopted by the next generation. And I have such a fondness for the Japanese culture. And I'm reminded of a story of a culture, a society in ancient Japan that would celebrate their annual festivals. Well, they would celebrate themselves in an annual festival, and this annual festival, it would take them, so long to build this festival. Like, it was an intergenerational experience to build this festival, and they would have the party, or have the festival, have the celebration, and then they would break down this festival, and it would take years for that to happen. So they would have these intergenerational teachings that they would pass on to their heirs and to the next generation, and they would come in and they would continue to do the work. And then they would get to the celebration and they would break down. So they would constantly do this over and over and over and over again until it became cultural practice. It became a part of their society and their family's way of life. And I think that gives you a glimpse on how to build something for your family and how to build something for your clients. It's not just about today. It's not just about tomorrow or next year, but think about it. Like, you're going 15, 20, 50, 100, 200 years out, 7 generations. Like, how how does that make you feel? What do you think about initially when you think that far out? Like, does it seem unattainable? Does it not make any sense to you? I'd love to know what you guys think when you put yourself in that visionary field of wanting to build yourself and your family and the legacy that you want to create. Like, what comes to mind? Like, click on the comment button below and let me know what you think. I'm super interested. So, wherever you are right now in your business, whether, you're starting out or if you've been in business for a really long time, I want to know about who you are and what you do. I'm looking to bring people into this podcast and interview more individuals in the construction and real estate space. I want to know about how you take care of your body and what sort of lessons you're learning in that regard. And it's not about your bank account. At the end of the day, it's about how you feel and the return on joy. A lot of us are constantly thinking about the return on investment. Like, I put X in, I'm going to get X out. And it typically is in dollars and cents. And it really shouldn't be that way to start. It really should be like putting your energy in and what sort of energy you get out. It's a lot like going to the gym. I constantly go back to this analogy because you go to the gym and you exert like a whole bunch of energy, and then you're tired. But when you recoup and you regenerate, the amount of energy that you have after that is going to be more than what you had put in. And it's a really great example as to how we can come together as a group, as a community, as a human species to improve our planet and ourselves and everything inside of it. We don't need to go out and try and do this all at once. It's constantly a work in progress. Like, every day you're just getting a little bit better, and then you're getting a little bit better. And, it's a labor of love for me, you guys. So really excited and passionate for the next, 50 years of my life, because I'm in this till the very end. I don't want to stop. I'm going to constantly pick up all of the things that are really hard for me that I don't want to do, and I'm going to do them because I know it's going to be better for me in the long run. I want to talk about a couple other things too, you guys, that are specific around real estate, and the real estate markets here in the Bay Area. I'm not sure where everybody's chiming in from, but I'm from San Francisco Bay Area, and I lay my hat with the eXp Commercial Brokerage. And in the Bay Area, there's been quite a bit of activity in San Francisco around multifamily development, retail, and office space. It's changing constantly. And we've seen a big dip in the markets recently. And I think with these new developments that are happening and with AI coming back in, I'm hoping that, the space begins to ramp back up over the next 15 years. I don't know what you guys think, but I'd love to know what you do think about all of that in San Francisco, because we're doing deals out there, and, I'm always trying to help people find, good investments and fundamentally sound deals that will help propel them and build their legacies over time. Well, there's this ownership group consisting of an investment firm, Kennedy Wilson and Pacific Housing, which is a nonprofit that creates and manages affordable housing in California. And they recently bought the Bella Vista Hilltop apartments in a complex of over 1,000 units on 50 acres in the East Bay in Richmond. And I think that's going to be a huge, huge deal when it comes to affordable housing and what these newly renovated apartments will feature. There's going to be bay views. There'll be wood-fired, wood-burning fireplaces, indoor and outdoor swimming pools. There's going to be a whole lot of stuff that's happening in the East Bay. And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I hope that we continue to see affordable housing in the Bay Area. And, more income. People think, more income means more freedom. But if you're not intentional, more income just amplifies the chaos. I think if you're looking to scale up into that next level maybe you're going from 6 figures to 7 figures, intentionality is going to help amplify your goal. It's not going to work if you don't have systems and process in place. That's going to amplify the chaos, because I've seen 6-figure earners with zero peace because they have zero systems in place. They don't have a team. They don't have any purpose. Freedom isn't just about earning more. It's about structuring better. So how do you continuously get better at your structure? You raise your hand. You ask for help. You get people to come in to do the work for you. I am always looking for people that know how to do something way better than me, because my greatest strength is my Achilles heel as I grow. And that has been one of the most challenging aspects for me as I continue to evolve and morph into who I want to become. You just have to have the right teams and the right people in place. And that takes time. You have to go through iterations and iterations and iterations. And a lot of people you have to talk to a lot of people. You have to interview a lot of people. You're going to rotate through a lot of staff. And that's just normal, and just it's tough. You have to stay the course. Another myth that I think about is you need to be a full-time investor to build wealth. And you're totally wrong. I think you need clarity, you need consistency, you need community. Most of my wealth that I built while I was still working in my businesses were done with other people, partners, and growing those relationships and evolving and developing those relationships over time I was able to stack. And you can start where you are. You can start with one creative deal. You can start with one property, one intentional move. That's all it really takes, you guys, is just one step. So as long as you take that step and you move in that direction and you compound those small moves, they will stack. Just like any investment portfolio, the eighth wonder of the world is compounding interest. And those small actions will rotate into a big old snowball. Just stay the course, you guys. Another myth I think about too is you need to do everything yourself. And I think this is one of the biggest reasons why people stay stuck. They feel like real wealth building is, a one-man band. And honestly, real wealth building is a team sport. I was speaking to this earlier, you guys. Like, I've built mine alongside brokers and attorneys and GCs and lenders and other content creators. You've got to be able to delegate and align with what resonates most with you. And we get hit with lots of myths, and this mindset shift, for me, changed everything. And here's what flipped the switch for me. I stopped asking what was the cheapest way to do this. And I started asking what's the highest leverage way to move. That's the difference between being in business and building legacy. What decisions are you guys avoiding right now that could change your life? Like, what's the one thing that keeps you grounded? I want you to get real and vulnerable and raw. And I want to talk about what the biggest moment of doubt that you've had that you pulled through. Like, these victory stories and these stories of failure, like they're hand in hand. It's like yin and yang. And I want you guys to see the humanity in all of this. So if you've got value from today's solo episode, please let me know. This is my first solo episode ever, you guys. So I'm going to plan on doing more of these. I'm going to continue to bring in a lot of guests that are in alignment with real estate and construction. But, I'm hoping that you guys could comment below. Tell me what you think. Subscribe to the channel too, because we're going to be cranking out lots of content within the construction and real estate spaces, hopefully bringing on a lot of value, a lot of lessons. But more importantly, this is raw. This is human. This is real world, real people. So I appreciate you guys listening. Another episode of the Wealth and Wellness Report. I'm your host, Diego. Again, hit the subscribe button below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.